Now we're going. Here we are at the University of Arkansas. Today we've got the University of Arkansas men's track and field staff with us. Here I'm along with Don Pierce, and we want to see what things are going on here at the University of Arkansas track and field. Don?
This is our first podcast since Cross Country State Cross Country. This is Track is Our Field podcast, and we're glad everybody's back. We're going to get started. We've had a couple of indoor meets collegiately. The high school meet was canceled due to the weather, and so everybody's getting ready for outdoor. I know a couple of high schools went to Pitt State and ran up there, and some other places around the nation. But we're excited to be here at the University of Arkansas, get to talk to the staff, and so everybody just hang on. Carl, get it started.
Well, we first all got our head coach, Doug Case, who's been here for several years, but just started in January as the head coach. So, Doug, tell me what it's been like in the new role.
Well, it's a lot of work, a lot of added things, obviously, when you take over a position like that. And I think the majority of my time has probably been spent hiring a staff right now and getting a new staff in here. I think that's been probably number one priority one here, and got some good hires. We have Cale Wallace, who's former All-American alumni here at Arkansas, did a great job running for us, and then he's been up north. His last stay was Iowa State, and he did a great job there, getting that program pretty much to national prominence, up there. And so I think he was a big hire for us. Really excited about him being here. And then the return of Danny Green back to Arkansas, so, which we threw him in the fire with all these meets starting, but everybody, and then Rob Jarvis has been here for a couple of years with us. So
I didn't recognize Danny at first. He got that beard facing in the eye.
Well, Doug, tell me just a little about you, your family, what you have, grandkids. What do you got going on?
I got all kinds of grandkids. I got 6 grandkids, so. Some of them, they're little, obviously, they're young, but I just had 2 grandkids last year. So family's growing, and they're all, Razorback fans and sporting their red and white and come to every track meet. And we go to try and get as many, athletic events as we can with them. But they're definitely Razorbacks, and they love it.
Well, we love your wife, as you know, as officials at the university.
That's because she makes cookies for
me. So we love your wife when she comes in with cookies and that. It's awesome, though, to see as an official and that, to see your family come and support, even the years. And now that you're the head coach, it'll be pretty awesome to watch those things and watch them grow and your family come and support what you do.
Well, that's how I keep attendance up at the track meets.
What was it like, though, the transition? Here we were in cross country, and all of a sudden, boom, Buck's out. You're named the head coach. Was that something that y'all knew was coming, or did that, like a month out, hey, Doug, we're fixing to make a change?
It wasn't that big a surprise. Coach Bucknam and I had been talking about it for a little bit of time, and we kept it under wraps really well, honestly, the whole time. And when he decided to do it, he just thought it was best at that time, and I think it turned out really good. It put a lot of work for us with a new staff, and like I said, we're thrown right into fire, man. Here, season starting, you have a track meet next week, and get a staff hired, and let's get this thing going. That's kind of how it was.
Wow.
And so it's been work. I said last night at the over at your coaches thing that Danny's up here until 9 o'clock at night half the time. So. But we're working and trying to get it all right and keep the flow as even as we can and not disrupt our program and not disrupt the kids' practices and all those things. So I think we've done a really good job of it.
So how was that affected? I've come in here as a kid. Coach Bucks brought me in. I'm ready to rock and roll, and then all of a sudden that changed. How did your kids, your athletes now, how do they handle the transition from Buck to your new staff?
Well, you're gonna have to ask Cale that because he's. But yeah, no, I'll let Cale, talk about that a little bit too. But again, I think we did a good job of not disrupting everything, and part of that was Coach Bucknam, the way he did this, and part of it was to have somebody that understood our program and knew what was going on to bring them in here, and that's what we got with Cale. So let's let him talk about that.
Yeah, your turn, brother.
Yeah, no. So for me, really cool that, my start date wasn't until January 1, but I was actually able to go as a volunteer coach to Boston with the guys in early December. And so I was able to kind of meet them there with Coach Buck. And so it was cool to be able to kind of see how he did things with them and be there in a supportive way, but also just kind of in a learning way. And so that kind of, I think, helped the transition, just not making a bunch of big changes right away, just like, okay, I see how you guys are used to doing things. This is kind of how I'm used to doing things, and kind of meeting in the middle a little bit to start, and then just kind of working through stuff. But the guys have been really great and really open. They haven't had any like pushback on the changes that I've made and things like that. So it's been a really smooth transition, at least in my eyes, I think.
So how many young men do you have that you're over as far as and what you're dealing with on a daily basis?
Yeah. So I think right now we've got about 12 guys, I think, kind of on the distance side of things that are under my watch right now. So we brought in 2 guys at I guess 3 guys at semester. So went from 9 to 12. So I guess about 75% of the group it was a bit of a transition for, and then those 3 guys, it was kind of they weren't used to anything before, I guess.
So what are your expectations for this year? So indoor, outdoor, I know we're kind of getting close. You got Tyson this weekend, and the SEC's coming, and the Nationals are here in the middle of March. What are your expectations for your people?
Yeah, no, for my group, we've got to try to get Ernest Chariot qualified in the 5K next weekend, and for nationals, and he's a guy that can absolutely score at the national meet, and so we got to get him qualified. Got to try to get our DMR qualified at that last chance meet. That'll be a big one for us. And then, see if we can sneak another guy in, like a Brian Masai or Nick Busini. Try to get one of those guys qualified in a 3K or something. But that would be the expectation from a national perspective. And then at a conference level, it's always go score as many points as we can, and try to not wreck ourselves for nationals for those guys that make it to the national meet.
Yeah.
And that to me, just watching and that transition from, here y'all put in trying to book a SEC championship, but then you turn around and boom, we're nationals, and that's just always been incredible to watch that happen. Is how kids come back and how y'all make that happen, where they're not peaking, I guess you would say, at the SEC, but trying to get to that national level, and how y'all do that as coaches, just incredible to see how those kids react and come back and bring them in healthy. As they say, get them on the bus healthy, and get them there. But that's just incredible to see how y'all do that and make that happen.
It's timing, and you learn that through the years, obviously, of coaching and how to set that up, and you have to learn it at the program you're at too, because when you're at Arkansas, you're trying to win everything, right? We're trying to win SECs, we're trying to win the NCAA meet, so it's important that we do things the right way and prepare ourselves for those last couple meets of the year. And you can't walk out day one first meet and have a PR. You might be in trouble, for the end of the year. So it's really about a peaking process and understanding how to do that and how to hold the peak for the right amount of time. So you're good at SECs, but you're maybe better at NCAAs. It's that type of situation.
Yeah, you got to be better there. Tell me about the new the way that we're doing that the NCAA has gone to your limits for your team now. How has that affected the program?
Well, it's a big change. It's a big change for everybody's program, and the SEC. So the limit was 45 per roster, and then the SEC made the men's roster 35. So,
Right.
Does it put anyone at a disadvantage? That's yet to be known. Because there are the Big Ten and the other conferences have not limited to 35, where the SEC has. So, it's just hard to say at this time. There's so much money flowing around, and things have drastically changed in over this year. And I think we're going to find out in probably 2 years, maybe 3 years, how this all kind of pans out in the end. So, we're just fighting to stay in it and stay where we've been and be a national power every year. And, again, we're trying to win SECs and NCAAs, and we're going to continue to do that.
So for y'all, you've actually been able to increase the amount of scholarships, but you've decreased your roster. Am I correct?
Yes.
Because you could have more than the 35.
Yeah, I mean, we've had as many as 60 here on the
Yeah.
men's roster before, and now we are limited to 35. There's a little bit. There's some stuff they allowed some former student athletes who were here
Right.
to stay here, so you had a little bit of roster relief, but that'll go away in a couple of years, and then you'll be. All of us programs will be at 35 on the men's roster, and the women's is still 45, but we'll be at 35.
What the SEC? Not knowing what was their thoughts on going 35 since they want for everybody else is 45. Was it money? Was it?
I honestly don't know. I really don't know.
That's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Here's somebody down the road can have 45.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck with, that's 10 more folks that score.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know how that's going to affect the SEC in the future because we've been the dominant force in track and field in the nation for years and years, and I hope it doesn't affect us.
Well, we've been talking. We got two coaches here. We're going to go for the Miami, Florida here.
Yeah.
Introduce it. I'll hand him the mic here.
Yeah, Rob Jarvis, our jumps field event coach here at Arkansas. He's been here. It's your second year, right? Mm-hmm. And and obviously done a great job, and kept that jump program and multi-program and everything up there where it was before. So just want to keep that thing going, man.
Well, Coach, just tell us a little bit about you, your background. New here. Just
So, Camps, born and raised Southern California, Los Angeles through and through. So grew up around Mount Sac relays and all that good thing. Fooled myself into thinking at a younger age I was a football player, as you guys can see. Not so much. Lasted 2 years at San Diego State, and then transferred to Azusa Pacific, where I graduated from, and that's where my track and field coaching journey started.
So where have you been collegiately as far as coaching?
So working backwards, I spent the previous 8 years prior to Arkansas at the University of Miami in Coral Gables. So missing that weather right now with the cold snap we've been dealing with. And then I was at UCLA for 2, IMG Academy, getting that program off the ground for 2, UCLA for 5 before that, and then I was at Azusa Pacific before that.
Man, that's
So
all
literally
those
bouncing
beautiful
coasts.
things that come up here in the mountains where it's getting a foot of snow.
Yeah.
And for me, God bless her, my wife. She's from Western Minnesota, so she's been walking me through the season. So this is really the second winter.
Hey, it's warm weather to her.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's been a lot of fun. We have a 3-year-old son, and it's been a great situation raising our son here in Fayetteville, and we're really enjoying everyone here.
So coming to Arkansas, how did you have that connection with Coach Buck? How all that come about?
Well, I was actually on a recruiting trip in Dallas, and well, take that back. One of our mutual friends reached out saying, "Hey, I don't know if you heard, there's gonna be an opening," and I thought it was a different university, and I found out it was here. I was like, "There's no way," and so Coach Buck reached out, and that was a Friday, and I think he offered me a job that following Wednesday. I was in the Admirals Club at DFW. I was actually on a recruiting trip for a couple kids I was trying to get to Miami, and he's like, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "I'm at the Admirals Club." He's like, "Well, go get yourself a beverage." What's up? He's like, "You're my new jumps and combined events coach," and I was like, "Holy!" So it was great. And it was just a whirlwind because from there, I ended up going to Paris with some athletes that I had from Miami, and then trying to move here, sell the house in Coral Gables. It's been a whirlwind, but like I said, it's been awesome being here in Fayetteville.
Thank goodness for a wife that can take care of those things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly. And in-laws. My in-laws are great. They're big golfers, so that was their excuse to get down to South Florida, hit some golf courses, then help pack up the boxes while I was up here with these guys.
That
Yeah.
is awesome.
We got golf courses around here too.
Yes. So it's all good.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say where I live in Hot Springs Village, we have 9 golf courses. They need to
Perfect.
come
Yeah.
down and
Awesome.
bring them down. We'll
They will
put
take
them
you
some
up on
golf.
that.
For sure is that way.
Yeah, you said you were in football.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I'm in a minority. I think I may be in the same club with the rest of you. To me, you made a step up to get involved into track and field.
Yes. No, 100%. Lot better on the body.
Yeah,
So
it's just a greater sport.
expectations for your jumpers this year. I know your high jumper went 7.3 the other day and that type of stuff. What are your expectations for your
Yeah,
crew?
so we'll start with him. So Scotty Vine's obviously a generational talent. Last year, wouldn't say caught lightning bolt, obviously jumped the 229.76. A lot of people didn't know he didn't have a fall of training, so once the wheels came off, it was really difficult to get that back in, but he put in a solid fall and winter, and he's in phenomenal shape. So we're looking forward to seeing what he puts together, but I mean, he'll be a contender at the big meets. And then in the triple jump, Abe Johnson, he's a sophomore transfer from Eastern Illinois. This past weekend, he had a 30-centimeter PB in the triple. I think he jumped 16:32, I believe, so 53.6 or 53.7. So really impressed with him. Quick story on his recruiting trip. Coach Case and I, when you recruit like young men, you see them clothed and go to dinner and just kind of chopping it up. But always on the recruiting visits, they have the media day. So give him in the uniform, that whole sort of thing. And I remember walking in the weight room, and you just see Abe's legs are literally up to here. And we're like, that's a triple jump. Really reminds me of Will Clay. Don't want to curse the kid, but great work ethic. A lot more there, and I think he has a ton of upside. And then rest of the group, trying to get Jackson Bear, our decathlete, on the mend. Once we get him, he'll be a key figure for us in the national championship run. And then rest of the group solid, but those are the three main hitters of the group.
Get Henry
great.
Kiner back out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, gosh. Sorry, Henry. That was big. I forgot. So returning NCAA two-time All-American, third place at indoor and outdoor. So he's got lifetime BPs of 8'11", so 26.5, and he's a 55-foot triple jumper. So that'll be a nice pickup for outdoors.
Great.
Yep.
Well, let's go to Danny here. Danny, welcome back to Arkansas.
Thanks.
And tell us about how things have been for you since you've gotten back.
Pretty low key.
Low key?
I don't know about that.
I mean, I started, just a couple weeks before the first meet, and actually started in Houston before when Coach Case called me about the job. I started from my home in Houston, having to use my personal email for meet contacts, and since then there's been 2 more, so I'm answering emails on three email fronts.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Just trying to get that back to 1. But it's been good. It's been, Fayetteville's the same and different, same. There were still a couple things in my office from 8 years ago. They were mine, actually, a little bit.
Wow.
I think Matt put them out just to, hey, they're still here.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Well, we planned on getting you back all along, I guess.
So, no, it's been good, It's new and the same, so
Yeah.
it's been really good. Fayetteville's a great place. I've always thought of it as my home. It's crazy. I came up here as a 18-year-old freshman and stayed here
I remember.
for 30 years. But I was literally 3 days from living in Texas more than Arkansas when I came back. That's how half my life has been in both places. So, and now a couple weeks more in Arkansas now. So.
Just ask what his job.
Yeah, tell us more a bit about your role and what you actually do here.
Well, it's fun. Right now, the main thing I've been doing since I've been back is getting the meets going, the meet director.
Right.
We have meet indoors almost every week, and they're all big schools, so that's been my primary role. But other than that, it's basically logistics for the men's track team, the travel, uniforms, class schedules, apartments, budgets. Oh yeah, budgets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That just happened to be due last week too, right in the middle of the indoor track season. So that was fun. That was some fun nights. But yeah, basically just the operation of the men's track, trying to put the coaches and the athletes in the best position to succeed.
Right. Well, Coach Case, I know you said you wanted to talk a little bit about the Tyson Invitational and some of the kind of lackluster stars we got coming.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, the meet, the Tyson Invitational, I think it's in its 27th year possibly here at University of Arkansas. So it's not a new meet by any means, but, we've got good support from Tyson Foods, and, we're going to try and get it back up where we had that professional level athlete come in, and we're going to get that going again. And already this year, we've got the likes of Noah Lyles coming in, the world's fastest human. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing, the world's fastest human on the world's fastest track. That's pretty neat. So he's going to run the 200 on Saturday night at the Tyson meet, and there's numerous other great athletes, not only professional but collegiate athletes, going to be at this meet, and I think it's going to be exciting. And we're really excited to get the Tyson meet back to where it kind of was, 10 years ago or so. And Danny had a big part in that when he was here before, and so he knows how that thing operates. And I was here for a couple of years when, that was a big time meet, and it's still a big time meet. Believe me, all these years we've had it, it's one of the best collegiate track meets in the country. Year after year, it's produces probably a majority of national qualifying marks in the country every year. Our two meets, Razorback and Tyson, those meets have been predominantly the best meets in the country year after year for national qualifying marks. So, I think it's going to even get better and better.
Okay.
Yep.
You're not getting this guy there.
To my knowledge, he's not. Yeah, he's not coming in. I know there's a large group of professionals, that they train here and stuff, and Chris Bailey's going to be here. He's not going to compete. He's an Olympic gold medalist.
Right.
We're hoping Jordan Anthony comes back, but I don't know if he'll run. But I just hope he can be here and hang out with us and stuff. But really, Noah Lyles right now is the headliner of what we've got coming in. Danny, what were some of the ladies that we're going to run? Anna Hall.
I'm just gonna do a number of 3 or 4 events to get ready for the multi-event. Combined event. We're actually moving some scheduling around for her so she can do it. She's a world-class athlete in so many events, so she's gonna be fun to watch. Just Coach Johnson's group here. I mean, I think there's 12 Olympic medals, all in all, just for people in Fayetteville, they're all competing. So it's going to be exciting, especially for track nerds like me. Seeing world class athletes actually on a facility, using the facility, back like the old days.
Yeah.
Yeah, then in the field, pretty good headliners too. Just the men's triple jump alone, we're scheduled to have Marquis Dendy, obviously, doesn't need introduction, and then the surprise one, people are following on social media, Cordell Tinch, his long jump opener will be next week here, because he said he's going to take a little bit from the rules and which is pretty cool. And then the other one is a world silver medalist, Luvo Manyonga from South Africa, PB of 865, so pretty good field. And then women's triple.
How far is 865 for the rest of us normal humans? That
I think that's 20. Gosh, I should know that. That's close to 28 feet. Or is
28 feet?
I think so.
Yeah.
Gosh, jumps go.
it's a pretty good jump.
And then obviously Olympic bronze medalist Jasmine Moore, she'll be triple jumping. And then in the men's high jump, it'll be a loaded college field. So pretty much I was looking at the list. I think 8 of the top 10 collegians will be jumping in the high jump next weekend. So between Vines from us, a couple K-State
pre-national
real quick. Yeah, so it's a pre-meet. And then men's triple, Rose Robinson.
So what are we looking schedule-wise just for our listeners out there? I know Friday, Saturday, 13th, 14th, Valentine weekend, which gets me in trouble with my wife again because I'm never home for her birthday or Valentine's Day. So what kind of time schedule are you looking at on starting on Friday?
Well, this year, the pro part of the meet was kind of put on us late, so our schedule was already out. But on Friday, starting at 5 o'clock, is when the championship sections will be. A number of Olympians will be running then, and then the next day on Saturday, starting at 1, from 1 to 4. That's when Noah Lyles will run at
240.
240 on Saturday.
Well, that's, again, if you're a track and field athlete or you're a fan or you're a parent of a track athlete, put them in the car and bring them to Fayetteville if they want to see, like I said, a pre-national, but see world-class athletes in Fayetteville, Arkansas. You need to get on the bus and in the car and come up. Again, as I just, I'm here all the time as an official. I just love it because I get to see the up-and-comers, see that freshman and go, I'm going to keep an eye on that one. Then see them in Paris on the stage, getting a medal. And we're getting those people to come here. We need to get out and support it. I don't know, publicity-wise, I know they're doing a better job of getting y'all out on Twitter or X or whatever and showing things. But we need the Little Rock people, paper, radio, whatever, to push this. We don't get that. I mean, we kind of started this for that reason, just to kind of get this information out. But you guys are up here busting it, trying to bring in quality people, quality program. I mean, golly, national championships and SEC championships, and they go, well, Arkansas's not doing anything. Well, they don't. You know why? Because y'all don't ever hear about track and field in the state, because, you know, if you're a track person, you're listening to this podcast right now, but we got to let people know what's going on up here, and we hope we're bringing that a little bit through this podcast. Carl, I'll let you go ahead.
Well, I'm going to echo some of your things. That's one of the things we want to do is, of course, we got to get people to find our podcast, listen to it. We hear all the time people, "Oh, track is dead in Arkansas." Where you been? You're relying on certain news sources that seem to think it's not worthy of covering, and of course, we get irritated about it. You know, we really do, and because track and field in Arkansas and even high schools, it's better than it's ever been. And people think, I hear people say, well, it's dead. People don't do it as much. No, the participation is higher than it's ever been. The quality is higher than it's ever been. But people don't know that.
Yeah,
So we're trying to get the word out.
We've got, as far as Arkansas kids, we have a good number of Arkansas kids on our roster right now. And, from 800 to multi-event kids, distance runners, we do well in the state of Arkansas. If there's a good kid, we're going to go out and recruit them and have a really good shot at getting them here. So, we want to promote track at all levels in the state, and I think as long as we can just get the word out and keep talking about it and get people interested in it, that it can keep growing. And I think it's better now than it probably has been for a while, honestly, in the state of Arkansas. I think the high schools are doing a great job.
Yeah, I would say last year was the best year for track and field.
I agree.
High schools in Arkansas that's ever been,
Yeah.
especially in the distance runs. But overall, it's better than it's ever been. And a lot of people don't know that.
Well, Carl, I just say, if they've got anything they'd like to add at this point, that they'd
Yeah.
like to talk about, let's open the forum. Anything y'all would like to cover?
You guys did a good job of interviewing us. Yeah, it
We're
was.
also hosting the NCAA Indoor Championships here.
That's right, NCAA
We're
Nationals.
do that, and we're hosting outdoors the NCAA West preliminary here
Yeah.
Right,
in Fayetteville. So that's
two real big meets.
real.
The biggest indoor and the second biggest outdoor.
Numbers-wise, it's probably
Yeah.
one of the biggest. The West, just numbers. There's only two regions in NCAA and outdoor track, in East and the West, so it's half the country.
Yeah,
And this year, the outdoor conference meet is at Auburn.
Auburn. Yep.
And indoors at Texas A&M.
Texas
So if
A&M.
you want to travel
Yep.
and watch the Hogs and call
Yep.
the Hogs at A&M and at Auburn this year. And looking forward to some outdoor meets up here this spring. And just, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I can grab a pole vault pole right now.
Well,
I'd like to see that, Don. You'd like to see me run the mile too, right?
well, we appreciate you guys coming and talking to us, and
Thank y'all for taking time
Yeah.
out of y'all's
Absolutely.
busy schedule to visit.
Always great seeing you guys.
you bet. Go. You bet. Thanks, guys. Go Hogs.
Sponsors.
Sponsors.
Well, we want to thank our sponsors for our podcast. First off, Design Lab with Steve Qualls. Give him a little support when you can. We got Tommy Howard with Edward Jones, and of course the Arkansas Track Coaches Association. Appreciate it.